vacation scheduled or a requested doctor's appointment or something like that, that'll be reflected in as blanks on the screen.
This looks a lot like it's showing us what I would call planned utilization. We're already tracking actual utilization, but this would allow us to do some cost, revenue, and profit projections, wouldn't it?
It is showing planned utilization on a daily basis. But if I go over here to the utilization and backlog tab, this is actually letting us see planned utilization on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. This particular view is on a weekly basis, as we can see here. It's grouped here by our categories of resources, and I can quickly see, for example, that our consultants for that week are overloaded. And then you mentioned cost, revenue, and profit. Again, if I have the keys to the kingdom, I can go down here into the Gantt settings, select an option to say, show me the money.
Easy, Rick. Take it easy. You're getting a little excited.
Sorry, Tim. Sometimes I just get so excited over all this cool stuff here. I'll show you a bunch more when we get ready to schedule this project. In the meantime, let's get the detailed estimate finalized now that we have an idea of who we want to use. So let me put SMR aside, and we'll go back here and bring up estimate entry. By the way, notice that the dates are the old dates here. If I go ahead and refresh, we now have the new dates that were changed as a result of the scheduling we just did.
I see. So now all we have to do is review those selections and then change whatever we think might be appropriate.
Exactly.
Last time we did a job like this, if I remember, my guess at the cost of materials wasn't so hot, I'm sorry to say. Is there anything in the system that will help us do a better job of estimating the materials?
Let's activate this as a project work order.
Project work order. You mean the Sandler Con module we've been using to get a better handle on planning for and control the materials for all of our projects?
The very same.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that we can use the PWO module to identify the specific materials we need and then incorporate them into the estimate with prep?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, heck, the material list for this job will be almost identical to Building 40. Can we copy that? Would it make life a whole lot easier, certainly if we could do that?
Well, of course we can. Simple as this. I'll just go over here to copy from PWO, and I'm going to specify that what I want to copy from is SK440, since that's the project that had the materials. Just take the materials and I click copy. It'll do its thing. And now it's automatically set the processing stage to plan for the installation task, which is where we have some materials. We have a list of 10 materials. I'll go into the material list, and now that that's done, all you have to do is tell me what you want to change.
Okay. It looks like the only change that we're going to need to make is we're going to need 2 of those FP002 computer systems rather than 1 this time.
These here, I'll go over to here, and now, by the way, notice it estimated the cost of the materials. When I change this to 2 and tab off, it's going to update that for me because it went and looked at the cost of that particular item.
That's cool. And what about the dates the materials are required? If we copied them in from the other PWO, won't those dates be wrong?
These dates out here were already set to the 19th because they got scheduled to when the task is required to start. So we want those materials to be ready when we start the task.
I see. One of the really cool things is that not only we're using this for estimating, but if we do land the job, then we'll have the same information just with a flick of the switch to make sure that purchasing knows exactly what we're up to and when we're going to be up to it. We've been using Project Work Order for a while now, and the inventory department has loved all the planning and tracking controls. Now, I don't know if you've heard the word, but especially when a serialized item gets returned from a job.
Yeah, that's great. I have been hearing some rumblings about that. We'll go ahead and save this. Let's go back to estimate entry because I want you to see the rest of the story here. I'll close Project Work Order. We'll bring the estimate entry back up. And now on the installation task, when we went down here to other costs, I'm going to switch the materials here to form view, and we can see that you had estimated this $10,000 came in as a copy from SK440. You had apparently estimated those materials before, but All I have to do is go over here now and check the PWO material list. Boom, it goes out there, it pulls those materials together, the cost. It looked up the rate table, billing rates, and extended our billings. And well, looks like come to think of it, it's a good thing we did that, because that's like better than a 10% error that we would have made. It could have cost us some money. It's a good thing we did it.
Yeah, I told you it wasn't my strong suit. Oh well. Can we get a printout of this estimate? It's probably a good idea to review the hard copy before we generate a quote and send it on to Gene.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and save this, and I'll just put it aside for now. We'll go back into prep, and we'll go down to the detailed estimate. And what I'm going to do is go over here to the sort tab. Well, actually, wait a second. I got to pick the right report. I don't want the summary report. I want to show you the detailed report. I'm going to go to the sort tab and tell it I want a page break here. Now I'll do a print preview. And this goes out, and it takes all that data that we've been putting together in the estimate and puts it into a nice little internal report for us. I'll go out here, there's SK441, and now here we see SK441, task 1, task 2. Here let's look at task 2, where we had our resources identified with the hours needed, their cost rates and extensions, their billing rates and extensions, and then the profitability on a line item basis. Then we get down, here's our auto mileage that we specified, remember, on that expense tab. Now here's our materials, and notice we have the summary line here showing us the 11,664 and etc. And then here's a list of the materials that that we needed.
That's pulling from the PWO?
That's pulling from the PWO.
Project work order.
Right, showing us profitability by task. Okay, and then we'll jump out here to task 3, and then we're showing profitability by project. So we get a good handle on
we can
on all
still,
that.
we're going to make some money on this, I
Yep,
see.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, well, this looks pretty good to me. Do you think we should sit on a while or generate a proposal right now?
Oh, it's your call.
Okay, let's let her fly.
Okay, here we go. I'll close this, and I'm going to close this out. We'll go back to our estimate entry, because this is a convenient way for us to start this. Okay, so all I need to do is click on Project Settings and go into the Quotes tab and click Quote Print. I could have just as easily accessed this through the menu, but it was convenient for me here. So I'll click Create Quote, which it goes through and it crunches all the stuff for us and then generates the quote in Microsoft Word. Gets through its thing here. Bring this up in full screen so you can see what it looks like. We'll go down here and look at all our details. There we can see there's our materials, and then our total quote at the end.
You know, Rick, Gene also likes to have a summarized quote that you can send upstairs. Would that be a hassle if you could bat one of those out?
Oh, nah. I'll just regen the quote using a different format. Let me put this away. The one that I have set is, actually, let's just go back into the quote print here. The one that I have set as a default was time and materials detailed task and showing the detail. I'll just pick a different format, which is the rough cut. Let's see, no, we want the detail summary, so we'll go ahead and pick that one. And then I can just go ahead and regenerate the quote. But you'll notice, I mean, just while we're here, just for a second, there's a lot of different options. I can pick all these formats that were supplied for us out of the box, and we can custom tailor them to things that we may want to generate ourselves.
Looks like you can send off to multiple addresses that you recorded on the project as well.
Yep,
Cool.
because those addresses will come up here. So let's just go ahead and regen this quote, see what it takes, see what it looks like. And now we have a summarized version where we've taken the billing rates off, for example, If you wanted, although this was a pre-canned report, I could have taken the detailed one if I wanted the details, but I didn't want to see the billing rates on that detailed report. I could just, save it, clone it, and take that piece off, and we'd have a version of our own.
Man, that's easy. It certainly looks easy. You make it look, everything you make look easy, Rick. It looks like Prep's writing the data right out through a Word template. And is that what I'm seeing?
That's exactly right.
So you're telling me that for our government contracts that's got all that boilerplate that we go in and cut and paste into those Word templates, that if I get a specific format, I could set one up that is specific for that template, that boilerplate, and then just use it whenever I want.
That's right. And then Prep would just feed all the information to the template out through basically through mail merge in Word.
Wow, that is very cool. This is going to save me a ton of time and hassle. Okay, I'll get this over to Jean and let you know what she says.
Okay, when she gives us the green light, come on by again, and I'll show you how we schedule the resources.
Great. I'll look forward to doing it, Rick. See you later.
Okay, ciao. Hey, Tim, what's up?
Hey, Rick. What you got there?
Oh,
Looks like you're looking on your that colorful screen again, your scheduling screen.
I live in this screen.
Well, I just got the green light from Jean on the job you helped me estimate last week, that SK441.
Oh, great.
Sure is. Listen, I know the next thing you usually do is schedule the actual resources, but I think that's going to have to wait till tomorrow.
Okay, not a problem.
In the meantime, I seem to remember seeing something about Prep being able to update the estimate into the budget. Did I remember that correctly?
Yep, you sure do.
I think we should need to do that right away, because Dolores upstairs in accounting really gets after me, and she'd love to have that right away.
Okay, not a problem. I'll go back in here into estimate entry. In the meantime, pull up a chair. Let's see. Load this up. And we'll call up SK441. All right, there's our estimate as we were looking at it yesterday. And all I have to do is go in here to project settings, and on the budget tab I just I click activate. Gives me a little warning, tells me what it's going to do. I tell it, yep, let's go ahead and do that. And actually what I should have done was show you in Profit View before we went in here that there were no budgets on the project, but now if you notice, we now have we had our billing estimate here. We now have our revenue budget, and we had our cost estimate, and we now have our cost budgets.
Yeah, prior to Prep, I know Dolores used to put those in, so I assume they weren't there before.
That's right.
That's cool. Then I presume these budget numbers will now show up when I run the project net profit in the project controller module?
Yep.
That's pretty neat. What if I make a further change to the estimate?
Oh, well, that's not a problem, because one of the things we did in here when we looked at project settings, when it's active, when I have all these settings in here, any changes that I make, as long as that's active, will get reflected in the budget. And if we have the project budgeting installed, I think we're supposed to put that in next week. If I activate this switch right here, then it'll wind up generating a revision for us, and if we decide that we want approval sign off on it before the budget gets updated, that'll all be integrated.
Boy, Rick, that's awesome. This stuff ought to really help us get a handle on the profitability of our projects. I'm really looking forward to using it more and more.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, got to run. I'll be back tomorrow, and then we can get to that scheduling piece, okay?
Okay, see you tomorrow.